My name is Pat McGinnis. I am the secretary of the Grand Haven Lighthouse Conservancy, and I also serve as the city manager for the city of Grand Haven.
I've been absolutely in love with Grand Haven and the lighthouses. I've always loved all lighthouses, but Grand Haven's lighthouses have been there, and I've been there almost 80 years. It'll be 78 next month. So I have been around these lighthouses forever.
When they created the Conservancy 10 or more years ago, they were looking for people that had knowledge about lighthouses. And having just retired from the Coast Guard and spent 20 years working on lighthouses, I volunteered to help the group and help the city maintain the lighthouses. Pat McGinnis, the city manager, was looking for a way to garner the community, gather some community members together and not use tax dollars or city employees to maintain the lighthouses.
It probably makes sense that the local government would own the structures technically, but what if we had an entity independent of the city that would oversee them, that would raise awareness and raise funds?
So his idea was to start a corporation, call it the Grand Haven Lighthouse Conservancy, create a 501c3 so that donors can send us money and we could maintain the lighthouses. I mean, when you come into a lighthouse for the first time that's been sitting abandoned for 10 or 15 years, it's nothing but a spider web, and it's in disrepair and it needs a lot of work. The inside's kind of bare bones walls. You can see the studs in the shell, so it needs to be addressed. The electrical is in disarray. We need an electrician out here that can straighten out the electrical panels. The cement work that's the foundation of the lighthouse we're sitting in, the entrance light, is deteriorating and the rebar is sticking out and it's dangerous, so that all needs to be fixed.
So far, boy, we've probably put north of $500,000 into the lights. Patiently, over a 10-year plus period now, we've really done a lot. We took all the lead paint off them. We resurfaced the exterior light, what we call the entrance light, put new steel on it, put all new windows in, just finished redoing the lantern house. So it's a constant effort.
The process is we hire contractors. We don't do it ourselves. We don't have the volunteer base to do electrical work and carpentry work and cement work. So we raise money from the public. We keep that money in the Grand Haven Community Foundation. We solicit grants from the state and we earmark jobs to be done, and we use the grant money to amplify or multiply the donor money so that we can get the work done by qualified contractors. Welcome to the Grand Haven entrance light. Let's go inside. We just walked into the main door and we're in the area that used to house a rowboat that they would row into town and get supplies. And they would go through this door, which has since been sealed up, but they had a derrick. They would lift the boat out and set it in the river and row up the river. Follow me. This was more of a living section and a utilitarian section. They were the air tanks for the old fog signal, the bellowing fog signal, the boom kind of fog signal. We have portholes that are being restored. The block is a terracotta block, and this base or foundation was built in 1921. Now we're standing on the main level of the Grand Haven entrance light, and if you could imagine this cement foundation not being here, the wooden structure that you see used to sit directly on the pier, which was also a wooden structure. And as the pier extended out the lake, they would move this fog signal building, because it didn't have a light, it was only a fog signal, out to the end of the pier as they built it into the lake. And that was in the mid-1800s, 1850, 1870. This is the third level, or the electrical room for the lighthouse. This room houses the controller for the fog signal, the battery for the solar backup, light up top, and all the electrical supplies we need to run the lighthouse, which is, by the way, still maintained by the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard has a right of way to come into the light and provide service to the lantern, which is up these stairs. Well, welcome to the top of the lighthouse. We are in the lantern room of the entrance light, And as you can see, that's powered by a small LED lantern. The windows are bright and cheery. It's been recently painted and refurbished here. We actually received a coastal management grant this year, matching $35,000. And we were able to restore the lantern room and the actual lantern on the outside. And you can't believe, but the views are wonderful from up here.
You know, today it'd be pretty nice out there. There'll be a lot of people walking on the pier, but many days throughout the year it's a little ugly out there, and there's just not many people out there, and so it's ripe for people to go out and do things they ought not to be doing, like spray painting and vandalizing and scraping their initials in. Towards the end of last summer, really got vandalized quite a bit, both the inner light and the entrance light. What can we do? You know, how do we prevent this in the future? You know, well, we could raise some money and put cameras out there. So we quickly raised the $20-some thousand that was needed to put cameras out there, and those cameras went in this spring, and they're there now. And I think the first 10 days they were in operation, we made 4 or 5 arrests. Poor kids get their keys out, and they're out there, hey, check it out, and they're scratching, and then when they walk off the pier, there are 2 cops standing there. Well, not a good day for you, but you really shouldn't be scratching your initials in the lighthouse.
I think Grand Haven residents are absolutely absorbing the lighthouses. They are generous to a fault. You have no idea the extent that even the schools have donated. They have worked so hard. They've raised money and like popcorn sales. The high school kids alone, just for the catwalk, did $15,000 in a year.
I think we've done really well. You know, I think for a local government, small town like we are, we've really struck a nerve with the community and incited a lot of interest in these things. So the money has come easier than I thought to fix them up when people know what it's going for and they care about it.
It's a real labor of love, and it's a real passion for most of the community. There's just that wonderful mystique of the lighthouses and what they represent, the safety they represent, the beauty they represent. The very fact that they're guiding these giant ships to safety. It's just a passion. And you can't say, I mean, there's no way to explain it. It's in you. And I think that's how it is for everyone in town. When the waves are going, this place is like, it's like there's a carnival down there. I mean, the whole town is out driving around just to see the waves, to see them crashing. It's an amazing journey, really, because it's just the city gaining the ownership of them has given us all a real pride.